This film certainly gave me and kids everywhere nightmares, seeing as it's about monsters that come out of closet doors. I'm going to go check my closet. See? No monster in here. Whoa!
I wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have. I wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have. I wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have. Wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have you.
Monsters Inc., directed by Pete Docter, and is of course the fourth feature film from Pixar Animation Studios, and tells the story of a world made entirely of monsters, Monstropolis, that use children's screen to get their power. And Sully and his scare assistant Mike Wazowski are about to break the all-time scare record. However, their lives soon change forever as a human named Boo is accidentally let into the monster world by Sully, and they have to now get Boo back and question the morale. Is scaring kids really right? Meanwhile, Randall and the head of Monsters Incorporated, Mr. Waternoose, are plotting a scheme that will change the future of monster kind and humankind forever. Now, this is not the first Pixar review I've ever done. I did review Finding Dory earlier this year. If you want to check that out, then this may surprise a lot of you, but Monsters Inc. is my absolute favourite Pixar film. It always has been, and it always will be. 15 years to this day. I have seen this film just infinity times. I know everything about it by heart, and it will always have a special place in my heart. I know you're all scratching your heads going, Harry, why is Monsters Inc. your favourite? Isn't it one of their weaker films? Why not Toy Story? Why not Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, or WALL-E, or even Up, or even Inside Out? Aren't there many other better Pixar films? Well, Monsters Inc. is my favourite purely because not just because it's the most nostalgic to me. It was the Pixar film I always saw the most as a kid, but it's the most heartfelt, and that's what a Pixar film has to have to really connect with you. Heart. And frankly, this film has plenty of it, and that is helped by the characters. All of the characters in this movie are brilliant. Not just the supporting cast and the villains, particularly our two lead characters, our protagonists, or three protagonists if you count Boo. Sully is my favourite Pixar protagonist. He is although he's is in the lead to break the all-time scare record, he's not a jerk about it. He's such a nice guy, and now that we've had the prequel Monsters University, that's added even more to his character. He started out as a jerk at university, but because he met Mike, it changed him for the better, and now he's such a lovable guy you just want to hug. And Mike Wazowski are awesome. He's everybody's favourite Monsters Inc. character if ever there was one. He's not just there for comic relief, even though it does that perfectly, because all of his lines are just hysterical and so original. He's incredibly interesting. He's struggling to keep up with his girlfriend, keeping up the monumentum of being a celebrity, and struggling to hide Boo and keep him and his pal safe from being banished. And he acts like a jerk, but he does have a heart deep down. And Mike and Sully, they're just inseparable. Their chemistry is flawless. They fall out, but they never stop loving each other. They act like perfect friends throughout, and it helps that Billy Crystal and John Goodman both are perfectly cast. John Goodman's big happy voice perfectly fits Sully. Billy Crystal's voice superbly fits Mike Wazowski's fun attitude. Boo is adorable. Once Boo comes into the movie gets amazing. She is the cutest character Pixar has ever done. She's just an innocent 2-year-old girl who doesn't say anything, yet you stand yeah, the other monsters fear her, and because they believe humans are toxic. But Sally is the first monster because he spends time with her and gets to know her. He realizes that monsters did misjudge humans, and humans and monsters can coexist in peace, and that's the compelling overall message of the movie. And Sully and Boo's relationship is so wonderful. It's so sweet. It makes grown men cry, and their scenes are the best scenes in the movie. A lot of people criticize this movie for having bland and boring and forgettable villains, but I respectively disagree. Randall is fantastic. He believes he can revolutionize the scare industry, and thinks more about than just breaking the scare record. And his design is great, his chameleon-like look, and how he can disguise himself to blend in. So which makes him a legitimate threat, and Steve Buscemi does a great job voicing him. Mr. Waternoose is one of Pixar's most well-developed villains I've ever seen. He starts out as just a decent guy who wants to keep his company going, but when the power crisis happens, he resorts to more desperate measures of kidnapping at least 1,000 children before he'll let his company die, even if it means getting rid of Mike and Sully in the process. His transformation to a villain feels genuinely natural, and you get where he's coming from. Yeah, they may not be Pixar's greatest antagonists, but they're not meant to be. This film, like I said, excels at being the best in every other department. The concept for Monsters Inc. is just brilliant. It is Pixar's most imaginative concepts I have ever seen so far. It takes monsters scaring kids through closet doors and adds so much to it. It creates an entire world populated by monsters and collects screams to power their worlds. That is such a brilliant idea from Pete Docter. Pete Docter has always had fantastic imagination. A guy tying balloons to his house and going on an adventure, and emotions going on a dramatic adventure to make their kid happy. Just, the guy's a genius, and this is no exception. The scare floor scene is one of Pixar's finest moments, and all of the monsters are outstandingly well designed. They all look individual. You can actually pick them apart, and they all have their own individual method of scaring. Like one monster will wiggle his arms, one monster will use his teeth and claws, some monsters will camouflage. It's ingenious. As well as being a comedic marvel, this film balances comedy and heart flawlessly. It's the ultimate Pixar film that will make you both laugh and cry, which is one of the reasons why it's my favourite. Mike does provide most of the funny lines, but many other characters have their moments. Like in the beginning, when Mike is pretending to be the radio, when he's ordering Sully to get out of bed, where he's like, "Wake up that slag that's hanging over the bed! Get up, Sully!" Oh, it will have you in stitches. Some people may think the animation may be a little dated, considering it's 15 years old now, but I don't think it's dated. I think it's Pixar's most technically impressive film yet. How it's the first Pixar film to incorporate fur. It took 11 to 12 hours to render a single frame of movement for Sully because he had like 10,000 strands of hair. Now, this was the most ambitious animated film ever made, technically, at the time, and it still shows today. The story is incredibly well paced. It just flies by. There is never a single moment where you'll be checking your watch. Even the adults will be hooked by this film and will never feel like they're wasting their time with their kids. And the story has so much meaning behind it. There's plenty of twists and turns, and so many moments that make you go, wow. The third act of the film is admittedly the best part. It's where the film truly finds its footing, where Sully accidentally scares Boo, and it's such a... boy, is that a powerful scene. And it helped Boo to realise that Sully was her friend when she gets captured by Randall and Waternoose and is about to be killed by the Scream Extractor. It's such a triumphant moment when Sully comes to rescue her and they're reunited. And even Micah comes to terms with himself. He realizes he was wrong about Boo, and finally quits thinking about himself, and she needs our help. And his conflict with Sully gets resolved very nicely. Even at the part where they get banished, I loved hearing John Ratzenberg, a Pixar legend, as the abominable snowman, as John Ratzenberg does a Pixar voice in every movie, and he is a welcome addition here as usual. The finale, where it's a race against time to get Boo back to her door, is an amazingly spectacular way to conclude the movie. The door chase is just a ton of fun, and one of the most visually eye-pleasing scenes Pixar have ever produced to this very day. It's a roller coaster ride but with doors, and Randall very hilariously gets his comeuppance where he gets thrown into the human world and beaten, gets the shit beat out of him with a shovel, and he can never come back. And even Waternoose gets his comeuppance very satisfyingly, and Mike and Sully are rewarded by... Oh, of course, I forgot to talk about Roz, the slug monster who files the paperwork. She turns out to be the leader of the CDA in a brilliant twist at the end. And her lines where she's like, "I'm watching you, Wazowski, always watching." Oh, just brilliant. And I don't care what everyone else thinks. You may say the ending of Toy Story 3 is the best. You may say the ending of Up is the best. This is by far the best Pixar ending ever. It is just beautiful and completely heart-wrenching when Sully is forced to say goodbye to Boo, and after all they've been through in the film, it's ever more powerful. It had me in floods of tears. It's so satisfying that the monsters finally see scaring kids is wrong, and there's a better way to gain power with laughter, which is 10 times more powerful, apparently. And the final shot when Boo and Sully are reunited, and Boo says one single word, "Kitty," so satisfying. Leaves a smile on your face. The last few bits of praises of the many I can give this movie is the soundtrack. Absolutely wonderful. I love the opening tune. It's so much fun and iconic, and If I Didn't Have You is my absolute favourite Pixar song. Yes, even better than You've Got a Friend in Me. It well deserved that Academy Award for Randy Newman, and it's sad that this was the last Pixar film to have outtakes, you know, in the end credits, because I would have loved to have seen outtakes from the others after Monsters, Inc. Think what they could have done. But anyway, is there anything negative with this film? Not at all. This is a perfect film. Monsters, Inc. is truly a masterpiece and an absolute classic in every right. It's such a shame that this lost the first Best Animated Feature Oscar to Shrek. While Shrek is a great movie, Monsters, Inc., I believe, was just slightly better. If I was running the Oscars, it would have got it.
I give Monsters, Inc. 5 stars out of 5.
Not bad for being the first non-John Lasseter Pixar film. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Monsters, Inc.? Please comment, let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Google+. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.